Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the MMA Corner post-fight recap. Tonight, we recap everything that was UFC 195, Condit versus Lawler. I don't even know where to start. I'm not going to call robbery on any fight tonight or anything like that, but I will say the judges suck. You know, again, never leave it in the hands of the judges, all of that kind of stuff, but you can't be expected to finish every fight, especially at the top level competition. You got to expect it. Sometimes judges are going to do their job and get things right, but it is what it is. It was a solid fight card. We had some excellent fights, and then obviously the final night of the fight, Condit versus Lawler. I mean, we're January 2nd, and that could already be the fight of the year. Who knows? It was an awesome fight. There's some great things that went on tonight. We'll get into all of them. Fuller, give us your thoughts.
Yeah, definitely. I think right now that was fight of the card, and it'll be fight of the year until I see better. But the
Well, it appears that we have lost Justin. Happens sometimes. So, again, what I was saying is this entire card I thought was solid. I mean, there were some great fights. I thought Joseph Duffy and Dustin Poirier was a solid fight. Duffy rocked him in the first round, had every opportunity to get the finish, just couldn't do it. Poirier recovered, rebounded nicely. I thought stole the first round and then put down just a flat-out ass-whooping in rounds 2 and 3. It sounds like Conor McGregor's going to get the next title shot at 155, and it's tough to say, Poirier deserves it or anything like that. But, Dustin looked like tonight, he looked solid. I'm interested to see what's going to happen with this guy moving forward. So, excellent performance by Dustin. But let's get into the main card. We had Tony Sims versus Abel Trujillo. Starting it off last night, I said I thought Tony would be able to get the job done. I thought that he had more ways to win the fight. He was winning the fight. He was, dictating the pace on the feet. He was landing on the strikes that he needed to. Went in for a silly takedown with his neck exposed and got choked out. I got to be honest, not a good look for Tony Sims. When you're winning a fight on the feet, you don't need to be dumb and try and do a takedown. Just continue to fight where you win. And he made the mistake. He paid for it. He got a second loss in a row. So, we'll have to see. It could be pink stuff for Tony Sims. Who knows? Fuller's back. Justin, welcome back. How you doing?
Thank you. I heard you talking about that Trujillo-Sims fight. I had Trujillo going into that. He was the upset win. I was really excited about the performance. But that was a really good fight, I think. And I think all these ones where the underdogs won were extremely competitive fights.
Well, I got to be honest. There wasn't much to that fight. And what we saw from Trujillo is he was getting beat on the feet. Tony was landing his right hand at will. He was doing pretty much whatever he wanted to. The only reason Trujillo got that victory is because Tony made a rookie mistake. I don't know what he thought he was doing. I don't know why he thought he needed to go for a takedown. And number 2, I don't know why he thought he needed to go for the takedown with his neck sticking out. And number 3, I don't know why when he picked dude up and realized that he had his neck, I don't know why he continued to go for the takedown, giving up, essentially locking them to choke. So it just mistake after mistake after mistake, and you expect better from a guy like Tony Sims. You really do. A guy as smart as he is, again, he's an engineer. He's no dummy. You just expect better, and so I got to be honest. I think Tony lost that fight more than Trujillo won it. But hats off to Trujillo. It was an excellent victory for him. He saw the opening, he capitalized on it, and he's going home with the win bonus.
And I think that was the experience that came into play there. He's got a lot of time inside that cage. So even though he was down and he was behind on the scorecards, he knew how to keep his composure and look for opportunity.
Yeah, he did everything he needed to do. And again, it was a short, quick fight, but he did do everything that he needed to do. He got caught with some shots. He didn't get frustrated. He didn't panic. He saw the opportunity. He saw the opening. He took it. He capitalized. He got the victory. All right, so let's go to fight number 2. Diego Brandao versus Brian Ortega. Since you're here, Fuller, I'll let you start us off.
Oh, man. That was one that was back and forth. And, you know, I had my pick was Brandao on that one. You know, that would have lost me a little money. I didn't have high confidence in it, but I just thought Brandao had the tools to win and that it was a good payout. But I did say, I mean, this one was almost a push for me. But I was going to give the edge to Brandao, but Ortega did everything he had to do, and getting in that choke there, you know, 3rd round, that really was an impressive win for him.
You know, it really was an impressive win for him, but let's be honest. He got his ass handed to him in the first 2 rounds. Diego should have won that fight. Diego, again, made rookie mistakes and paid the price for it. I tweeted out going into the 3rd round, and again, you can follow me at Josh Davis Sports. I tweeted out going into the 3rd round that Ortega needed a finish. It was a good thing that Brandao was gassed, giving him the opportunity to get it. And I think that's what it was. And Diego, you got to work on your cardio. You got to be able to use your energy better. He should have won that fight. He didn't. Again, he's paying the price, and Ortega continues on undefeated. But Ortega did show holes in this game. I mean, he can easily be outstruck. And in that division with a lot of elite level strikers, he's going to have to get that fixed quick, or he's not going to move up the ladder. Do you disagree?
No, very, very much agree so. But I think that he'll have a lot more confidence coming out of this win. And he's faced that adversity, had his composure, got a win. So he knows what he needs to go back to the drawing board to work on, and he'll come out a better fighter because of this.
Absolutely.
Which is usually what we say when guys lose. But in this case, he won. So it's sort of good, you know, he wins on both sides, experience and the win bonus.
Well, let's be honest. He did lose the fight. He got the MMA win, but he lost the fight.
Yeah.
So, but he did prove that he can take a punch. He did prove that he has a solid chin. I do think he'll continue to work on his striking. He knows what he needs to do, but he also knows that, hey, if I get you to the ground, I'm dangerous. So I do expect big things from Brian. So let's move on. Lorenz Larkin versus Albert Tumanov.
Robbery. We both had Larkin in this one. I thought it was a close fight. Tumanov did execute his game plan at times, but I thought Larkin did everything he had to do to win that. And I don't know what more else to say. I hope this doesn't, hurt him as far as matchmaking goes for his next couple bouts.
Like I said, I'm not going to call robbery on any of these fights, but this was another decision that I have to question. And it's not just because I picked Larkin to win this fight. I thought he did win the fight. If you follow my timeline, I thought he won 2 of the 3 rounds. I thought he did everything he needed to do to win. I mean, he basically kicked Tumanov's leg off. And so, I don't know. Again, I'm not the judge. I thought he did everything to win. But hats off to Tumanov. I mean, he did everything that he needed to do to stay in that fight. He was obviously injured. He powered through it. So you got to give him props. Again, I didn't agree with the decision, but I'm not a judge. So it is what it is. It's just one of those things. And again, there's the cliche nonsense. Don't leave it in the hands of the judges. You're not going to finish everybody, especially at this elite level competition. So you do have to rely on the judges to get it right. And I don't know, maybe there needs to be changes there. All right, let's move on. co-main event, we had Stipe Miocic versus Andre Arlovski. Miocic did exactly what I thought he would do. You know, he came in, he landed the shots, he put Arlovski down. Ding, there was a slow stoppage. Let Miocic pummel him when he didn't need to. But it's just one of those things. It's a great win for Stipe. He looked insane afterwards. I mean, he looked like he was ready to go again. I mean, that guy needed to be fighting in the Rising tournament. You know, I don't know what else to say. 54, 58 seconds, whatever it was, just isn't enough octagon time for him. So, great fight. I don't know. Does he get the title shot, Fuller? What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I think that performance pretty much puts Overeem in the number 2 spot now. You know, we talked about the different scenarios that would have got Overeem immediately there, or Arlovski. And we were kind of sleeping on Stipe even with a win, because we both, I think, thought that I thought he was going to take this a little deeper. What really impressed me was the one thing I didn't think he was going to do was recognizing that opportunity and following through, because if he'd hesitated for a split second, sometimes that's all a guy like Arlovski needs to recover. But he didn't at any moment in that attack, in that exchange, in the follow-ups. He never hesitated. He continued to throw, and that really impressed me. And that was the one area where I thought he was going to lack, that was going to allow Arlovski to counter. But that he's the number 1 contender in my mind, regardless of how this next fight plays out. I mean, there's a couple scenarios where I could see it not happening. We could have a rubber match, but right now he's the contender in waiting.
You know, and that's the thing. I could see a rubber match happening, but here's the thing. Overeem's not under contract, so as far as I'm concerned, he's not a contender for any UFC title. He's not on the contract. Okay.
No, but he's still in his window, and he could do what Gilbert Melendez did, which worked a title shot into his contract. He could,
but he hasn't done so yet.
Yeah.
And so what I'm saying is he's unknown, and the UFC can't wait on unknowns. Who knows how long Overeem's going to want to sit out, do all that kind of dumb stuff. So I think if Overeem doesn't get his shit together, the UFC is going to leave him behind. However, depending on who wins this fight, if Overeem's available, I could see the UFC skipping Miocic and making him go one more. It really just depends on what do you value more, the quick knockout over Andre Arlovski or the second round knockout of JDS. You know, and so that's what they're going to be weighing. And again, number 2. What kind of money is Overeem going to want for this title fight? We already know what contract Stipe has at the moment, so that's not going to change for a title fight. So
well, I think they can get Stipe for a lot cheaper than Overeem, big time. That's a big factor. He might not sell as much, but is that difference covered by the money they save?
I think Stipe will sell just fine, you know, especially after this victory. I think when they show the highlights of him whooping on Marquand and then they show this, I think Stipe will sell just fine. I think it's going to be very interesting to see what the UFC does. It's crazy to say this in one of the weakest divisions in all of MMA, but the UFC finally has title options. They finally have multiple guys that honestly have a legitimate gripe at who's the true number 1 contender. So again, it'll be interesting to see how they handle this moving forward. All right, let's hit it. The main event.
Got a lot of thoughts on this one.
Start us off. Give us your thoughts.
Okay, so this fight pretty much played out, I think, exactly like I thought it would, with one key difference. Condit did not work from the outside as much as I thought he was going to. And I think what he did here was he erased that blemish of that Diaz victory and the way he won that fight. Because he was, while he was keeping a safe distance, he was still moving forward and kind of keeping pressure on Robbie while just staying just outside of his reach, except when they'd exchange now. But Robbie was landing the more devastating shots, the harder shots, but not as much volume like we thought. And while I wasn't watching it to score it, I thought Condit was going to squeak out that win. But even before the end of the 5th round, I'm thinking to myself, no matter what happens, they have to do this rematch. This was such an awesome fight. I don't care what the result is. I hope it's a draw because this fight has to happen again immediately.
So,
My one criticism on Robbie.
who do you think won the fight?
Oh, no. I mean, without watching it to score it, I thought Condit probably should have won that, but it was so close. I can't really be upset with a split decision, but I am a little upset because I do think Condit should have won that. But I want an immediate rematch either way. My one criticism on Robbie was after that 2nd round, he had him hurt, but then in that 3rd round, he wasn't taking advantage of that, and that allowed Condit to recover and steal that round because he got better and better throughout the round as he recovered from those big shots. Because Robbie looked calm in his corner after that 2nd round. While Condit was still a little bit out of it. And I thought that was his opportunity to try and finish that fight in that 3rd round, but he didn't do anything. And he gave up that round.
Now I'm going to have to go back and watch the fight again because the 3rd round is the round of question. Watching it live, I clearly thought that Condit came out and won the round. I didn't think there was any question, but 2 of the 3 judges gave that round to Lawler, which is the difference, is why we're saying and still instead of and new. Now, it was a great fight. It really was. However, I mean, to me, again, there was no question that Carlos won this fight. Just like in my mind in the 2nd fight with Johnny Hendricks. I thought Johnny won that fight as well, and Robbie got it. Now, I thought Robbie was winning the Rory McDonald fight going into that 5th round, but every judge had him losing. In fact, if he didn't get to finish it, had it gone to the judges, he was going to lose 3-2. So you never know what judges are looking for. It's just crazy. It was a hell of a fight. I don't know what to say. Yeah, I'm not a big proponent of immediate rematches. I mean, I do love rematches, don't get me wrong, but immediate rematches, I'm always kind of wary. But when I look at the landscape, okay, I know Tyron Woodley is on TV right now saying that he deserves the next title shot and so on and so forth. And I got to be honest, I have to disagree. I mean, what gives you? How have you earned a title shot? What gives you the right to a title shot? Yes, you got the nudge because Johnny missed weight, but fighting wise, what have you done to earn a title shot? I just don't. I don't see it. I do think, to be real honest, if it's not going to be an immediate rematch with Carlos Condit, that probably the winner of Wonder Boy, Stephen Thompson, and Johnny Hendricks deserves the next title shot. Why? Because they're fighting.
I would say if Johnny wins, yes. If Wonder Boy wins, no. Tyrone gets it. But I agree, Tyrone's not doing much. I think all things being equal, he's the de facto #1 contender. But luckily, this isn't boxing, and there isn't some weird omnipotent power dictating who mandatory title contenders are. So I say the fight that sells and makes sense is the rematch right now, assuming both guys are healthy and want a quick turnaround. If not, the landscape will be way different.
Obviously, they're going to want to fight each other. I'm going back to Wonder Boy. If Wonder Boy wins that fight, he, in my mind, deserves it over Tyrone. Because, again, he's fighting. He actually did beat Johnny. Woodley didn't. Plus, he's got the win over Ellenberger. He's got a title resume. At that point, he would be on a 6 or 7 fight win streak. He wouldn't have lost since his decision loss to Matt Brown. Absolutely, he would deserve the title shot over Woodley. Woodley, go out and fight somebody. Quit sitting in the back, hiding from everybody. Sign a contract. Go out and fight somebody. Prove that you deserve to be the guy. Until then, dude, you're sitting on TV telling everyone how you deserve it. Go out and beat somebody up, and we'll tell you that you deserve it. That's pretty much how that works. Disagree?
I think Woodley should have not sat back and waited to see what happened with this fight, because this is that one scenario where, rematch is probably going to happen, And guess what? That puts you on the outs, and you can't sit around and be inactive. I think it would have been smarter for him to already have a fight booked, possibly close to this one, so that way people will be talking about that more. So I think he put himself in the situation where now he has to go out and fight and wait even longer than if he'd already had a fight booked and he wouldn't be waiting that long. But this is the end of the day. I'm always an advocate of always keep fighting and then let the title shot come to you. Don't not fight. It does not work out well for people usually. And the people it does work out well for, they never win that title shot. Name me one person who held out for a title shot and won the title. Not one.
It doesn't work out well for you.
No.
Here's the other thing that I will say related to that. He's in there sitting on a panel with 3 other fighters, and all 3 of the other fighters are saying that there should be a rematch before he gets a title. That tells you all that you need to know right there.
You can't convince the guy sitting next to you.
Yeah, and no disrespect, Tyron. I think you're a beast, but you don't deserve the next title shot. You don't. You need to go out and beat somebody.
I say he deserves it, but not as much as this other guy.
Go be the top 5 contender while you wait. Put your stamp down. Prove that you earn it. Leave no doubt. Leave no doubt. See, Ryan Bader tried to do the same thing. Tried to sit out. No, I get the title shot, blah, blah,
Once
blah.
for like 3 months, and then he said, nope, change my mind. I'm going to go fight.
Because he saw what was going on. He saw that John Jones is coming back. He's getting skipped over. So he has the opportunity. All right, he can either fight the guy that is going to fight somebody else to keep his name relevant and get the next title shot, or he can fight that guy, preventing that from happening and earn the title shot himself. That's what Ryan Bader chose to do. And so we're seeing him fight Rumble Johnson, and the winner of that is going to get the winner of DC and John Jones.
Yeah, I'd like to see you know what he should be doing? He should be calling out Rory, avenge that loss, get that get that blemish out of people's memories. No one wants to fight Damian Maia, but he's right up there, number 6, number 5. Sorry. I mean, there's guys there people should be fighting if they want to be contenders, but no one wants to fight these guys, in which case you're not a contender.
And it's funny, Daniel Cormier actually threw out Damian Maia's name, basically said that Damian Maia deserved the title shot over Tyron Woodley. And he's right. You know why? Because
he fights. He fights nobodies. He doesn't care.
And Rory's booked. He's got to fight. So, it's Tyron. You're choosing to sit out. You're choosing to try and act like the UFC owes you a title shot, and they don't. You've not. First off, you don't have that clout. You're not that guy. And second off, your fighting doesn't warrant it. You're a wrestler. You're not exciting. I mean, even in the striking bouts that you've had, you're not exciting. And your number 1 contender fights, you haven't shown up. Dude, get your shit together, bro. Get your head in the game. Go out there and beat somebody up, preferably not me, but beat somebody up in the octagon and prove that you're the guy. Because I'm not saying that you don't have the skill. I do think you have the skill. You just haven't shown it yet. You haven't proven it enough. You haven't beaten enough guys. And your attitude of let's sit back and not fight guys and have the UFC hand me a title shot. No. Fight somebody. Yeah, you got screwed by not having to fight with Johnny and Dana White's haste. He told you you're getting the next title shot, not because you earned it, nor because he was mad at Johnny. Go out and earn it. Go earn it.
Oh, no. What's going to happen is Hector Lombard's going to destroy Rory, and then they're going to – can you hear me?
Yeah, earn it.
What?
I said earn it. So
you were saying – yeah. Sorry. Hector's going to destroy Rory, and then they're going to do a fight in Havana with Yoel Romero fighting Rockhold and Hector Lombard fighting Robbie Lawler or Carlos Condit. Because you know what? Hey, let's go to Cuba. Why not? We got 2 Cuban guys to fight for titles. Sorry, Tyron Woodley, you weren't active enough. Like that, I'm like, I could see that happening. August 2016, UFC Havana. Hector Lombard fights Robbie Lawler for the title. Tell me that's not a real possibility if they could make that happen.
to be honest, if he puts a beat down on Rory McDonald, absolutely. I mean, because Rory's the guy. He's, you know, to be real honest, right
Raul's
now.
on the phone. Raul Castro on the phone with Dana White.
Yeah.
Hey, I want these Cuban guys fighting for me. Make it happen.
Yeah, Seinfeld style. But here's the deal. Every title shot in the welterweight division really right now needs to go through Rory, which is why you bring up a good point. Tyrone, call out Rory. However, Rory's already booked. I see why you're not doing that. But if Hector whoops on Rory, absolutely, he needs to be in consideration for title shot. So, all right. Who was your biggest star of tonight?
Dustin Poirier. He had some moments of just, he looked phenomenal. He was really well-rounded in there. He was in shape. I know Duffy's got talent. He's a tough guy. He was a tricky fighter, but he was not as well-rounded as Poirier. And Poirier took some shots and just really put his stamp on the division.
You know, while you were frozen or whatever your issues were, that was one of the things I talked about. I did talk about Duffy and Poirier, and I think Poirier, you know, I think his stock has risen. I mean, he looked excellent tonight. Now, that's not to say that Duffy didn't have the opportunity to finish him, and I'm going to say he should have finished him, but he didn't do what he needed to do. He had Poirier hurt. He had Poirier in a position where he was just covered up, didn't know where to go. Had he put the pressure on, here's the deal. If that was Conor would have finished him again because he wouldn't have stopped. Duffy stopped and let Dustin back in the fight. And once Dustin got back in the fight, he took over, and he didn't let up. He was relentless. He got, like I said, it was a straight schoolyard ass whooping in rounds 2 and 3. He beat the shit out of him. Great victory for Dustin Poirier. Since you gave Dustin Poirier your biggest star, I got to go with Michael McDonald. I mean, you know, first off, it was an excellent victory for him. Right now, the submission, getting the transition, and then the choke himself. It was an awesome victory. Long layoff. I mean, yeah, I like what he's doing. I think he's proven that he's still a contender in that division.
And you know what? You're right. That puts him in a good position to get a big fight. I mean, we could see him fight a Sun Tzu upon his return. You know, we could see, I mean, there's a lot of things we could see happen. Depending on how this Cruz Dillashaw fight goes, I mean, that could play out where we get a rematch there, in which case Faber's on the wings, and we could see him take a fight with McDonald in the meantime. I mean, Michael McDonald really set himself up for a big fight after this, so for a good payday, for sure. Possibly a fight night headliner.
Yeah, I like, you know, I like the possibilities with the kid. Do I think he's beaten Faber? No. Do I think he's beaten Cruz? No. Do I think he's going to beat Dillashaw? Probably not. But again, he's exciting. He's dynamic. He has the potential to beat all of those 3 guys. I just don't think that he will. However, I'm not necessarily betting against him, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. He's got the potential to get those fights and get those big paydays. He's at least that good.
Exactly. All right, give us your final thoughts.
Man, this card, I think what I was saying when I got cut off at the beginning, I mean, we said it might not have had the most recognizable people, but if you're a real fight fan, you know who these guys are, and you knew it was going to deliver. And every single one of these fights on any other card would have gotten some sort of performance or fight of the night bonus. So without a doubt, we're going to see a lot of $5,000, $10,000 sweaty gangster rolls getting handed out in the locker rooms because these were all amazing fights. It delivered. It was worth it. Unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of theoretical dollars made, but I did come out on top a little bit, so that made it worth it.
Well,
bad judging screwed me a little bit, but bad judging saved me at the end as well. So I can only complain so much.
You know, bad judging screwed everyone across the board. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Great card though. UFC 195 delivered. It was everything that you could ask for. The main event, was awesome, and we'll have to wait and see what the UFC is going to do, whether or not we get the immediate rematch or how they're going to go with it. But normally when we have cards like this, the division shapes up. You know, it shakes out. We can see what the future holds. Now it's as clear as mud, not only in the heavyweight division, but in the welterweight division as well. So, like I said, the UFC has options, and that's always a good thing for them. It's always a good thing for fans, and it's always a good thing for us media. It gives us a lot to talk about, a lot to write about. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for tonight's episode. As always, if there's anything we didn't cover, go to the MMAcorner.com. You're home for all things MMA. You'll find it there. Post-fight press conferences on there. I will be loading the post-fight video highlights here in just a couple minutes, so you'll have all of that. You can catch the radio show, Press Box Insider, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 p.m. Mountain Time, live on Mile High Sports, or go to SoundCloud, or you can listen to it through the site, however you guys want to do it. All right, for Justin Fuller, I'm Josh Davis. We're out.